On this historic night, we just heard from Senator Sanders' campaign spokesman, Michael Briggs, responding to this news tonight from the AP that Hillary Clinton is the presumptive Democratic nominee. Senator Sanders has been saying for a week now that the AP and all the networks should not project Hillary Clinton as the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party because the Sanders campaign has said she can't technically clinch the nomination anytime ahead of the convention, because the superdelegates won't cast their votes until the convention. But now that the AP has made its determination that Hillary Clinton has achieved the number of delegates she needs to clinch the nomination, and NBC News has made the same determination, now, honestly, Hillary Clinton will start to be described as the Democratic Party's presumptive presidential nominee. So we can say, as of tonight, for the first time in the history of our country, a woman will be a major party nominee for President of the United States. And in any circumstances, that is a very big deal. I spoke with Hillary Clinton tonight, just before the Associated Press made their call that by their count, she now has the delegates to be the Democratic Party's nominee. Watch. Joining us now from Los Angeles is Democratic presidential candidate, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Secretary Clinton, thank you so much for taking time tonight.
Glad to talk to you, Rachel.
How are you feeling about tomorrow's contest? California, New Jersey, the Dakotas, New Mexico, Montana. It's a lot of states tomorrow.
It's a lot of states, and we're working hard in every one of the states to get as big a turnout as possible. I've got a great campaign going, lots of volunteers. Our supporters are working overtime. So we're going to work hard until the last votes are cast tomorrow.
It would be surprising mathematically if you did not hit the magic number tomorrow night and effectively clinch the Democratic nomination. Because of that, should we expect that you are going to declare victory, give a victory speech tomorrow night when you give your remarks in Brooklyn?
Well, I will be speaking tomorrow night, and right as you and I speak today, I'm 3 million votes ahead of Senator Sanders, nearly 300 pledged delegates ahead, and I think that's a very firm foundation going forward.
Let me ask again about the victory declaration. Obviously, semantics at this point matter, not just because of marking milestones in the race, but also because of hurt feelings, because of the prospect of trying to achieve unity among the various supporters of the various candidates. Would it be inappropriate to declare victory? Do you plan to give the kind of speech that reflects the fact that you've clinched the nomination?
Well, you'll have to wait and see tomorrow night, but I think it's pretty clear that that's what's going to happen, and I'm very excited and very proud of that.
NBC's Andrea Mitchell just confirmed tonight that President Obama spoke with Senator Sanders over the last couple of days, over this weekend. As this primary does come to an end, is President Obama getting involved personally in trying to bring the party together?
Well, you'd have to ask the White House. We all want to bring the party together. That is something I've been talking about. I've said that I will do my part. That's what I did. Actually, 8 years ago tomorrow, on June 7th, in 2008, I had a much closer race with then Senator Obama than Senator Sanders has with me. The popular vote was literally neck and neck. The delegate gap was much smaller. But I took the position that he had a lead in the pledged delegates. That's what we look at. That's what superdelegates look at. And I withdrew, and I also endorsed him. And I knew how important it was that we unify the Democratic Party. I think it's equally important this time around.
When Senator Sanders has been essentially warning the networks, warning journalists that they shouldn't declare the nomination clinched tomorrow, even if you do cross the delegate threshold, because he says the superdelegates can't really be counted until they vote at the convention. Obviously, as you just explained, that was not your calculus in 2008 when the race was even closer than it is now. What's your reaction to him casting the race that way? Does that frustrate you?
I find it perplexing. What he basically seems to be saying is that the will of the people should be overturned. I have this very substantial lead in the popular vote, more than 3 million votes. That means more than 3 million Democrats and others voting in Democratic contests have chosen me. I have a very significant lead in pledged delegates. He's basically seems to be suggesting that superdelegates should overturn the will of the people. That is just hard for me to understand. It's never happened before. It's not going to happen this time.
Are you lobbying superdelegates now to try to shore them up in case he does continue to press that case?
No, the people have already spoken. I mean, this would be unprecedented for someone who makes this case, and I know he and numbers of his supporters do. They have to answer some basic questions. Why are you advocating that you want to overturn the will of the people who have been expressing their views for these last many months? More than 3 million votes ahead in the popular vote. Senator Obama and I were neck and neck. 300 pledged delegates ahead with more to come. I really don't understand the argument. Basically going to superdelegates and trying to persuade them to overturn the primaries and caucuses and their results never has happened. It is not going to happen this time. And the sooner we unify and make our case against Donald Trump, the better off the Democratic Party will be. That is what I've been advocating. I made the case against him in San Diego last week. I'm going to be continuing to make the case against him. And whatever differences we may have between Senator Sanders and myself, or that my supporters and his may feel, they pale in comparison to the differences with Donald Trump. We both want to raise the minimum wage. We both want to make sure we get to universal health care coverage. We both want to make sure we have good, strong regulations on Wall Street. We have a lot in common in the goals that we have set, all of which Donald Trump rejects, repudiates, walks away from. So I don't really understand the argument that's being made. What I believe is we need to unify our party. I will do my part. Others are also going to be reaching out, and I hope that Senator Sanders will reciprocate.
I think part of the reason that Andrea Mitchell's reporting about this conversation between President Obama and Senator Sanders, I think part of the reason that was such an intriguing report tonight is because I have heard that argument from you. I've heard a version of that argument from Senator Sanders. Everybody observing this primary fight between you and Senator Sanders has been thinking about what party unity is going to look like, the importance of it, how it's going to happen. And I think I have a lot of curiosity, and other people have curiosity as to how it happens, what the nuts and bolts ways are that comes together. I mean, are you speaking directly with Senator Sanders? Are your campaigns talking? Do you plan to?
Oh, our campaigns are certainly talking, and I will be reaching out after tomorrow night because I obviously want to unify the party. And as I just said, we have so much more in common, and we face a very serious threat from Donald Trump. I think that he is unqualified to be president. I think he is temperamentally unfit to be commander-in-chief. I think whatever party you are, whatever your political philosophy might be, listening to what Donald Trump says, even trying to imagine what it would mean for our country, for our place in the world, how others would view us, what we could do to make a positive agenda a reality to help Americans. There is no doubt that Donald Trump is the threat that I think he poses to America that is going to unite the Democratic Party.
Bloomberg reported this evening that Mr. Trump got onto a conference call with his surrogates and his supporters, and he told them that they should continue to attack the judge in the Trump University case, this judge who Mr. Trump has gone after on the basis of his race. Mr. Trump personally told his surrogates on this call that they should call reporters racist if reporters even continue to ask about this story. And I know you've been very critical of Mr. Trump on this, but with that sort of doubling down, even in the face of all of this criticism, even from his own side, are you worried that this campaign, that his side of this campaign is going to stoke some kind of racial conflagration in this country that's going to be bigger than just a political fight?
Well, I'm certainly going to do my best to prevent that. I'm going to run a positive campaign about what I want to see for our country, the kind of opportunity and progress that I know we can make together. And I'm going to continue to call him out. when he does make statements like that. I think if you go back, Rachel, I was the very first person to call him out about the outrageous comments that he made about immigrants, calling them rapists and criminals. I was criticizing Donald Trump for his divisive, insulting, dangerous language a year ago, last summer. And I've continued to point out that his kind of hateful rhetoric has to be repudiated no matter what party you are, or where you live, or what your background is. This attack, this racist attack on the judge, is just another example of how he is absolutely impervious to the values of America, to the progress that we have made over many, many decades. To accuse an American judge, someone born in Indiana, who is as American as I am, and certainly as American as Donald Trump, that based on his heritage, he cannot oversee a trial that is brought by plaintiffs who feel they've been defrauded by Mr. Trump and his so-called Trump University, is a terrible precedent. He's trying to demean and defame a federal judge who was a very accomplished federal prosecutor, who was first appointed by a Republican governor in California and then appointed to the federal bench by President Obama. He recently said he didn't know if a Muslim judge could be fair to him. I imagine he'll move on to women judges because he's been insulting women so regularly, or maybe a judge with a disability, or perhaps one who was a former POW or African American. This is dangerous nonsense that undermines the rule of law, that makes him appear to be someone who has no respect for fellow Americans. And I think it is yet more evidence why this man is dangerous and divisive and disqualified from being president.
Do you think that Mr. Trump is a racist? Do you think he's running an overtly racist campaign for president?
Well, I don't know what's in his heart, but I know what he's saying. With respect to the judge, that's a racist attack. With the attacks on so many other people, he is calling them out for their ethnic background, their race, their religion, their gender. I don't know what else you could call these attacks other than racist, other than prejudiced, other than bigoted. Just plain wrong, and certainly wrong coming from someone who is vying to become president of the United States.
Secretary Clinton, I know your time is tight. I have one last question for you, and it's just about the fact that this is a historic moment we're about to have as a country. If and when you clinch that number tomorrow night, you will become the first woman ever nominated for president in this country. Why do you think it took us 240 years to get there?
Oh, Rachel, I think that it will be a great moment. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want everybody who can to vote tomorrow in all of the states that are holding primaries. But it is historic, and I'm aware of that. I take that responsibility seriously. I'll have more to say about it. But I think it's going to be a very positive development. Not just for little girls and women, but for little boys and men, because I'm running to be president for every single American.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, thank you for taking time tonight at this very, very busy evening. I really appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good to talk to you, Rachel.
Thank you. So I spoke with Hillary Clinton earlier this evening. That was just a little while before the AP and then NBC News declared that she has reached the number of delegates she needs in order to clinch the Democratic nomination for president. 13 superdelegates confirmed to the networks this evening that they are supporting Secretary Clinton, and that was enough to put her over the 2383 that she needs in order to clinch that nomination. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders and his campaign, they are rejecting this determination tonight. They're saying that no superdelegates should be included in any delegate count because those superdelegates don't technically cast their votes until the convention.